set. Okay. Well, hi everybody. Welcome to our online conference here. We're taking a little bit of time to talk about what comes next in money astrology. I know that many of you have been watching our money astrology videos, and I appreciate your taking time to take a look at them and to understand some of the concepts that we're dealing with in this all-important question of how we go about finding the money in your horoscope. And what we're doing with our time together here today is trying to give you a little bit of a sneak preview of what we've got coming up very, very soon here with our new class on how to find the money in your horoscope. We'll be getting the class underway here very soon, and what we want to do is give you a little bit of a preview of what's coming up so that you can get ready when we open the doors for class registration. So we do appreciate your taking time to join in our conversation here. I wanted to point out at the outset here, I think somewhere on your screen with this webinar service, you should see a box where you can type in comments or questions. My screen doesn't look like your screen, so we'll see. I trust it's there somewhere. But if you find that and care to submit your questions, please do so. Anything that comes up as we work through this material, be glad to take a look at that, and we'll deal with all of the questions at the end. We won't interrupt the flow in the midst of our conversation here as we get going, but we do want to make sure that we take the time at the end of our session to answer whatever questions you have. And we'll try at that point as well to see if we can connect with a two-way conversation as well as your written questions. So go ahead and type those in, and we'll see what we can do with those at the end of our session. So appreciate your patience with getting questions answered. And hopefully we'll answer a lot of them along the way, but we will deal with them as we see fit at the end of our session. So again, thanks so much for taking time to join us here for this preview session. I've seen a lot of familiar names as the sign-up information has come in here, and I'm glad that you're able to join us, but some names and email addresses I don't recognize as well, so it's probably appropriate for me to introduce myself. I'm Tim Bost, and I'm editor and publisher of Financial Cycle's weekly newsletter. This is my personal email address. I thought I would share that with you if you care to contact me individually. Always glad to hear from you. One caveat that I want to add to this is that I get between 400 and 500 emails a day. A lot of them are spam, but a lot of them about vital communications as well. Sometimes emails do get lost in the shuffle. I apologize for that. I do try to answer them all personally, and sometimes that takes a few days to get around to. So if you do send an email, be patient. If you don't get a response in a couple of days, send me another email and say, hey, did you get my first one? But if you play with me with that process, as long as you're not expecting an instant answer when you send an email, we'll be cool with that. And I am delighted to engage with you and to try to connect with you via that vehicle. As you're able to do so. At any rate, I have been working with astrology and with the markets for a number of years now. I've had about 45 plus years of professional experience as an astrologer, and have been working with the markets and applying astrology to finances for well over a quarter of a century now, and have worked with that in a great deal. I live in southwest Florida, here in the mouth of the Manatee River, flowing into the Gulf of Mexico, and I can look out my terrace window, sit on my balcony, and look at the dolphins that come in from the Gulf into the mouth of the river. They like to play and chase fish in the shallow waters just below my my balcony. So that's not a daily occurrence, but I like it when it happens. It's a fabulous, fabulous place to be. And so if any of you are in this part of the country or this part of the world, please make arrangements to come visit with me when you're able to do so. I do deal not only with providing instruction in financial astrology and in working with the markets and in doing a market letter and providing market forecasts based on the astro trading techniques, but I also work with individual clients and with businesses. I provide consulting services, and my clients have sessions with me. My fees start at $1,500 an hour for private consultations in which we look at the financial picture for individuals and help them work out financial strategies based on the astrological dynamics. And they, most of them find that very, very helpful. And I'm honored to have clients who've been with me for well over a decade. Many of them keep coming back to consult with me on a regular basis because they find that the astrological advantage offers them considerable leverage in their personal affairs, their personal financial affairs as well. And as I say, I also work with businesses, helping them time business decisions, opening new branches, starting new marketing campaigns, and what have you. So all of that is a part of what I do. I work with clients via telephone calls, over Skype, and face-to-face if you are in the Southwest Florida neighborhood. We can line up a time to do that. As I say, I am the editor and publisher of Financial Cycles Weekly newsletter. You'll find that at financialcyclesweekly.com. As a part of our program at Financial Cycles Weekly, we manage a model portfolio in the stock market and have been pretty consistent in outperforming the market year after year for the time that we've been tracking our model portfolio performance. We've averaged a little over 35% return a year. This is taking around 200 trades a year. Of course, we have some losses as well as some wins in the portfolio, but this is the aggregate performance record of that. And it's been enough to convince me that astrology is worth pursuing as a part of any kind of approach to money, as a part of a financial discipline. Now, if you're specifically interested in trading, I encourage you to pay a visit at financialcyclesweekly.com, and you'll find lots of information there about the programs that we have to offer for training and supporting astro traders. But during the past few weeks here, as we've been putting out these money videos and leading up to this time, we've been putting a lot of emphasis not so much on trading in general, but on one specific dynamic, which is the money in your horoscope. And that's what we really want to take our time to talk about together here this evening, because it's a very, very potent area for each of us to explore. Now, I know some of you are actively involved in trading. Some of you are entrepreneurs and have your own business concerns and are interested in using astrology from that perspective. And some of you are just trying to figure out how to get your feet on the ground financially in a more general sense, wanting to find the means to get a job promotion or perhaps to start your own business or to get a little bit of extra financial leverage in your life. Wherever you are, regardless of the specific situation that applies to you, a knowledge of the money in your horoscope can be of enormous benefit to you. First of all, once you understand how to find the money in your horoscope, it can make a major, major shift in your attitudes toward money. And I've honestly found nothing that's more important than our attitudes about money. That could be an entire evening's webinar in and of itself, just talking about that one topic. But suffice it to say that the attitudes that we have, if our assumption is that only corrupt people get rich and honest folks stay poor, if that's the basis of our attitude and our opinion, then we tend to find things in our experience that reinforce that. If we believe believe that we are perpetually lucky and automatically attract more money into our lives, then that is what tends to manifest as well. So what can happen as we understand the dynamics in our individual horoscope, as we find the money in our horoscope, is that we can see this shift in our money attitudes that can actually help us enhance the flow of money in our lives as well. Now, once we have that sense of the right kind of focus to take, it's a fairly natural next step that it inspires specific actions on our parts. You know, if I believe that I can generate money through my creativity, then this may inspire me to start my own business or to turn my hobby of macrame or whatever it is into a small business or a craft venture that enables me to generate money. The notion here is that I can begin to take action on the basis of understanding where my greatest tendencies are and where my greatest aptitudes are for generating money based on what I learn about the money in my horoscope. Now, when that happens for us, it helps us in this all-important step of clarifying our individual financial goals. When we talk about goals, there are certain things that need to be in place. They have to be specific, they have to have a time frame, they have to be actionable, and we have to be accountable about those goals. Once we understand the right kinds of actions we can take based on our knowledge of the money in the horoscope, then we can clarify what those goals should be, what's most appropriate for us, what's most doable for us, and then be well on our way toward reaching those goals as well. Of course, with the money in the horoscope, we're concerned primarily about the flow of money, and when we understand how that works for us individually based on this astrological knowledge, then it opens up all kinds of opportunities for us. My experience has been that there are many, many more opportunities for us to acquire and expand our wealth than we have time to take advantage of. And so it's really a picking and choosing kind of dynamic. And what do I want to do today to help enhance my my ever-growing state of financial wealth? And then, of course, because we're dealing with astrology, astrology is not just about a revelation of who we are as individuals and what our capabilities are. We also have this notion of timing. We are timing things astrologically on the basis of the planetary movements. When we understand how that applies to us individually in our lives through a knowledge of money in the horoscope, then we can improve the financial decisions that we make, the actions that we take, and the timing that goes along with that. And it helps us to be able to do the right action, but also to do it at the right time for the optimum results, and that's what we're all about. Now, speaking of the right time here, we've looked very recently here last week, in fact, at the IPO for Alibaba. This is Jack Ma, who is now a multi-billionaire. I don't know that we have a clear indication of his actual personal net worth at present. He is in all likelihood today the richest man in China and probably one of the top 4 or 5 richest individuals in the world. We'll wait for Forbes magazine to figure all that out, and I think it comes out in March or April, something like that, their annual issue of the richest people in the world, and I'm sure Jack Ma will be near the top of the list after this experience that he's just been through here. We took a look at the money in his horoscope and showed how that was impacted through his decisions, and of course the Alibaba IPO was the biggest one in the history of the world, and it far outranked even the IPO a few years ago of Visa. That, I think, was the next the biggest, and that was about 17 or 18 billion dollars, as I recall. And the Alibaba IPO dwarfed it by comparison. The company, on its opening day of trading on the New York Stock Exchange, had a higher capitalization, more money invested in it than Amazon and eBay combined, and I think it outranked, I believe it was 22 of the 30 Dow Industrials that had more money invested in it than 22 of those top 30 companies in the Dow Industrial Average. So Jack Ma is an example of the power of astrology and the benefits that can come when we start to understand the money in our horoscope. Of course, he's not the only billionaire out there. There are a number of them right now. Probably one of the most famous is Warren Buffett. And Warren Buffett is a very interesting figure. He's always in the top 2 or 3 wealthiest individuals of the world. That position shifts back and forth a little bit from year to year. But he's been a long-time investor, and he does not use the short-term trading techniques that we use with Financial Cycles Weekly. We're not certain exactly how he uses astrology, but in doing a study of his work and his investments, it becomes rapidly apparent that there is astrological knowledge at work there. He's very, very private about that. He doesn't come out openly and say, hey, the reason I am making this particular investment is because the planets are appropriately aligned for that. So he's not an active advocate of astrology, and we want to be clear about that. We did, in fact, do a publication, I think about 6 months ago or so, what the government won't tell you about Warren Buffett's investments, and it's an analysis of the astrological dynamics involved with his portfolio of his heaviest weighted holdings at Berkshire Hathaway. And it's a very, very interesting study. At any rate, about 7 years ago, Warren Buffett was interviewed by a Canadian magazine, Maclean's Magazine, and during that interview, the interviewer asked him, well, what do you attribute your success to? And his answer was very, very interesting. He said, I just happened to be born at the right time in the right place. Now, he may have been kind of flip in making that comment, but this is a precise description of how we look at a natal horoscope. The natal horoscope, your individual horoscope, is on the basis of the exact time that you were born in the exact place that you were born. And it's that combination of the two, then, that gives us the power to find the money in the horoscope. Now, Buffett, of course, was not the only billionaire out there today. He was not the first billionaire in history. That honor goes to J.P. Morgan back in the late 1900s, the early part of the 20th century, the late 19th century, early part of the 20th century. J.P. Morgan was a mover and shaker in the financial world. A very, very interesting life history, a huge, huge impact on the world of global finance at the time, and was, of course, one of the leading bankers of his day in the early decades of the 20th century. Morgan personally consulted with the astrologer Evangeline Adams, who had an office near Carnegie Hall in New York City and had a number of celebrities as her clientele. She was probably the best known astrologer of her day in the early decades of the 20th century, at least in the U.S. And Morgan would come to her for personal consultations. In fact, wanted to have her go on a world cruise with him, but she said that she was just too busy with her clients, that she didn't have time to take off with him to go see the pyramids of Egypt and take the trip that he had in mind. So he was very enamored of her advice and in his experience. Morgan famously said that millionaires don't use astrology, billionaires do. And as the first billionaire in history, that was kind of feathering his own cap a little bit and saying, I'm in a breed apart here, because there weren't that many billionaires even by the time of his death. Right now we have a lot of them, and in fact millionaires are much more commonplace. I started to say millionaires are a dime a dozen, but that's probably a mixed metaphor there. We won't go there. But there are a lot more millionaires out there today than there were in J.P. Morgan's time, and a lot of them do use astrology as well. Now I have to point out here, I work with individual clients and with businesses, I do have a number of millionaires in my clientele, and I'm very pleased with those relationships and enjoy my connections with them. One of my favorite things to do is take a millionaire to lunch because it always helps me put my own financial house into a better perspective when I can give something to a millionaire. I have to confess that I don't have any billionaires in my clientele personally. So if any of you are billionaires and do want to become a client, please contact me, because I want to bear out what J.P. Morgan had to say about this and try to advance this to the billionaire level if we can make that happen. At any rate, this was J.P. Morgan's famous comment about the astrology and the power of the money in the horoscope. So the bottom line here, in talking about the trading track record of Financial Cycles Weekly, talking about these knowledgeable individuals who are extraordinarily wealthy and who do use astrology in making their decisions, we can say that astrology really does work to enhance and increase your personal state of wealth. It's unequivocal. The challenge there, though, is that you have to know how to use the astrological tools and the astrological techniques correctly. And that is really where the big problem comes in. The fact is, there's a lot of misinformation out there about astrology, and the ability to use it effectively is not commonplace, even amongst those who are passionate about astrology and work with it a lot. We may be obsessed with what all of our friends' sun signs are, and be having lunch with a group of friends and saying, "Oh, she's acting just like a Capricorn. Look at the way she's handling this particular situation." That's very entertaining. It's a lot of fun to do, and it gives us a lot of insight into personalities, and it makes for great conversation. But when it comes to creating wealth with astrology, we have to have a little more specialized knowledge. And the fact is that the professionals in this area, because they have the kind of expertise that can generate a lot of wealth, don't come cheap. And as I say, with my own clients, my fee for an individual consultation is just shy of $1,500 for about a 90-minute session. And this professional help is not always within the range of every individual. And that's one of our concerns here today, and that's part of why we're getting ready to start a new course here. Now, the fact is that you can learn to do astrology on your own without a course, without any guidance along the way. And you can figure out a few things that may or may not work for you. You could also work with a professional if that's something within your means and you want to do that on a regular basis. I personally don't think there's anything better than doing that, having somebody to bounce ideas off of and compare notes astrologically. If you know a good, competent professional astrologer, by all means connect with them. Make sure that they've got a good background in financial matters as well, if you're going to be talking about money in the horoscope. Not all competent astrologers have the financial knowledge, or especially the knowledge of the markets, to go along with that. So make sure that you're dealing with somebody who has that level of expertise. Or our approach here is that you may want to combine the two. Work with a professional on an occasional basis, do kind of brush-up consultations when that's appropriate, but also learn enough yourself about the tools for finding the money in the horoscope so that you can be competent and have a clear sense of direction when you work with your own chart and your own timing issues. That's why we're putting together this new training program, which is how to find the money in your horoscope. And of course, that's why we wanted to get everybody together for this session today, was to have an opportunity to review some of the things that are going into this program and give you an idea of exactly what's there so that you can make a determination as to whether or not you want to enroll in this class that will be starting here within the next couple of weeks. And as we get this class underway, we'd like very much to have your participation in it and to be able to join us for that experience, but we want to make sure that you understand what we're doing, how we're doing it, and that it's right for you. So let's talk about the schedule itself, because that's always first on many people's minds. You know, I'm really busy. I don't have time to take an extended class. How does all this fit? And we've put a lot of time and energy into designing this class in order to work comfortably with your personal schedule. Now, we did a survey as we began our development work on this program, and I know a number of you took time to answer that, respond to that. I appreciate your input there, because it was very, very helpful in getting fine-tuned about what needed to be included in the class, but also the kinds of formats that people like to work with best. And we've tried to come up with something here that will really work for everyone. The biggest concern for most people was they didn't want an extended commitment. And the median seemed to be about somewhere between 3 and 5 weeks. So we've designed a program here of 4 weeks in duration for you to take this class. Actually, there's a little longer time frame shown here because we talk about the registration period first. We're going to be opening the registration this week. In fact, on Wednesday, the 24th of September, that morning, we're going to open the doors for class registration, so you'll be able to sign up for the class then. We'll be announcing that to the world at that point, saying the doors are open and you can sign up for the class. We do, however, have a limited enrollment number with the class, because our aim here is to allow for adequate one-on-one interaction and to make things workable rather than having hundreds of people enrolled and getting an unmanageable dynamic going on when people have questions. We want to make sure that you can get what you need personally out of this experience. So the registration period will run from Wednesday, September 24th until Thursday, the 2nd of October. We've got just 8 days there of registration. Then the following day, the class formally begins on Friday, October 3rd. We're going to have on that day an orientation telephone call. We're putting class materials on a special website, and you will have access to that site on that day, and we'll have the phone call then to kind of explain how to access the materials on the site and to make sure that everybody has a clear sense of how things will proceed with the course work. So that will be a fairly brief call, but the aim there is to get your questions answered. We'll have open lines there, so if there are any nagging concerns at that point with that conference call, then we'll be able to get them answered at that juncture. I think it's important that we kind of get everybody on the same page in terms of the logistics for the class, and we won't belabor that point. Then we'll have that same day the lessons available online on Friday, October the 8th. Now, what we're doing here with this 4-week period, we've designed it to be 2 lessons a week. Originally, the plan was to post them up, once a day, on each for 2 days each week, and kind of stagger them out. But our decision has been that because we have this material already recorded and lined up for you, we're going to put the material all online for you on Friday, October the 3rd, so you'll be able to start immediately with the lessons at that point. Now, the aim here again is is to pace yourself and be able to work through all the material in a 4-week period. If you want to take longer than that, that's fine. If you're an eager beaver and want to sit down and do a marathon, a binge viewing, I think they call it, of all the lessons and do it over the course of that weekend, you're welcome to do it there that way too. but we do want to make sure that you can get the full benefit out of it. So on Friday the 3rd of October, all the course material will be available online. Then the following Wednesday, on Wednesday, October 8th, we will have a live Q&A call. And what we'll be doing is having 4 of those calls each Wednesday evening. Those calls will be recorded, and we'll be posting the recordings of the calls online on the website as well. So there will be an archive there of those Q&A sessions available to you after the fact. That way, if you can't make a Wednesday evening call, that's okay. You can listen to the recording after the fact, and obviously what you miss out on is the ability to ask questions in real time on the calls, but we do encourage our students in the class to submit questions via email prior to those calls, so that if you do have concerns you want discussed on the call, you can submit the question even if you can't participate in the call live. So that's why we're setting it up that way. Here again, the aim is to make sure that we have the opportunities for you to get clarification, to get the questions answered that you have, so that you don't get lost with the course material and can keep on track with learning this vital information about how to find the money in your horoscope. So we continue then each week with 2 lessons. As I say, all the lessons will be online, but ideally you should be able to work through 2 of those lessons per week. We'll have the 1 call each Wednesday evening. So those will be all 4 of the Wednesdays in the month of October except for October 1st, obviously. We won't have one because that'll be before the class starts. But the 8th, the 15th, the 22nd, and 29th of October will be our calls with the Q&A calls. And again, all the lessons will stay available to you online even after the course ends. You'll still be able to go back to the website and access all of the materials that are there and use them to your heart's content to get whatever it is that you need to have answered, and to review the material associated with the class. So that will be going on. Somebody's trying to call me there in the background, but I'll get to that call later. So let's talk about what's in all of these lessons here. We've said we have 8 lessons in all associated with the course, and we want to make sure that you can get the full advantage of all of them. Our first session, I put the title in quotation marks here deliberately because it's there's a little bit of sarcasm involved, but it actually turns out to be true. I think what we have in this first session is the world's fastest complete lesson in basic astrology. We've got one particular challenge here that comes up whenever we do this kind of thing, which is that the students who enroll in the class have various levels of experience and expertise. I dare say all of you have an interest in financial astrology and enhancing your personal wealth. Otherwise, you wouldn't be joining us here for this conversation. But some of you have a lot of background in astrology. I've seen here with some of the people who have expressed an interest in this class, some very, very knowledgeable astrologers, some folks that I know personally, some professionals in the field that are interested in brushing up their skills in this particular area. And we always inevitably find, too, that there are some complete novices, some real newbies to astrology who sign up for our classes, and that is likely to be the case with this one as well. So in order to bridge that gap, what we have done is put together this first lesson in the series for how to find the money in your horoscope, which is a quickie review of all of the key elements in astrology that you need to be aware of. If you are already an expert astrologer, you'll probably want to watch this session anyway, because what we do here is cover the basics in a very, very rapid-fire fashion, and it will give you a feel for how I approach things and how we're going to present the material, what we consider the most critical dynamics to be aware of in dealing with astrology. If you're a complete newcomer to astrology, then this is your opportunity to have that basic material, and it's there for you to review as much as you need as you proceed through the class, so that essentially after session 1, We expect to have everybody on the same page with at least a grounding in the astrological terminology and how some of the things interact with the horoscope that are relevant to our ongoing study in the remainder of the lessons. So that's what we're focusing on with that. Now let me point out here, I haven't mentioned one important fact, which is that all of these lessons involve multiple videos. When we talk about 8 lessons being available online, this is not just 8 videos of 90-minute lectures that you have to sit there and stare at and kind of glaze over as you try to follow along and stay awake and make notes. We have discovered that people learn best in shorter doses, and for most of us, our attention span is fairly limited. So the videos range from about 7 minutes to I think it's at 18 minutes, something like that in length. We've provided them in these bite-sized chunks for you to break down each of these topics that we cover. Each of the sessions involves from 6 to 8 videos for you to take a look at, and you can sit down and watch them all in sequence in the course of an evening, or you can space them out and take your time and spend the better part of a week going through it if that's more suitable for your schedule. Likewise, you have the ability to go back then and review the specific parts that you need to brush up on if you are uncertain about a concept. If we get a couple of lessons down the road and we're referring to something from the first lesson and you're not remembering how that works, then you don't have to go back and try to fast forward through a long video and figure out where the place was when we talked about the whatever. Instead, you'll be able to go right to the bite-sized chunk that applies to the specific topic that you're trying to get the information on, review that piece, comprehend that knowledge, and then move on. So that goes to that applies to session 1 and to all the other sessions in this class as well. I'm very, very excited about being able to put things in this format for you. What it means is that there are a little over 50 videos in the class altogether. That's not meant to sound intimidating, but to let you know that it's like, hopefully like eating salted peanuts or potato chips. You have one and then you have another, and then before you know it, you've eaten the whole bag. But what we want to do here is provide the experience for you of being able to consume this information, put it to work, truly understand it, have it make sense for you. And that's what we have in mind with this class. Now, in addition to this, we've got session number 2, which is all about getting what you're really worth. And this lesson focuses on your personal relationship with money. And there's some key components here as we look at money in your horoscope and how all that functions for you. Because each of us has a different sense of values, and it's important for us to understand what we personally value and what our chart tells us about our sense of values as we look at this question of acquiring wealth in our lives and in working with it financially. And so we move pretty rapidly here at this point from this notion of just the basics and how we get started with the basics in astrology, but it's also it moves us into the realm of the application with your specific natal chart in a very, very dramatic way. By the way, I haven't mentioned the fact that if you do not have your natal chart, if you've never seen that and don't have a chart calculated and want to participate in the class, we'll make that available to you for free as well if you enroll in the class. That is to say, get you the printed form of your chart so that you can refer along as you go through the class, refer to that. That, of course, is not the consultation interpreting the chart, but just the chart itself, and it will be an invaluable tool to you then as you work through the class sessions. The third session is finding out where your money actually comes from and knowing where to look in the horoscope to get the indications of the places that can bring wealth to you. That's an important concept here, because as we look at our individual charts, we each have different proclivities and different areas that are sensitive for us as individuals in which we can generate money in our lives. So it's important for us to be able to use the horoscope to identify those places where we can find the money coming in. In other words, we need to know what to do with it when we've got it, but we also need to know where to find it and what our best tools and strategies are as individuals for helping us bring more in. And that starts with knowing where we need to go to look in order to get there. So that second session then on where is your money coming from focuses on that primary concern. In the first lesson we talk about the basics of the astrology itself, and here we begin to focus on some key concepts about money in general and how we relate to it, and then exactly where we need to look for it. The fourth session is all important here, I think. In business, we talk about OPM, other people's money, and that's exactly what this lesson is all about. With this session, we are focusing on the sources of money in terms of other individuals and how we deal with the other people in our lives and how we connect with them vis-a-vis financial matters. In some cases, it's money that we share. If I've got a joint checking account with my spouse and we each are carrying around our separate checkbooks, periodically we've got to sit down and figure out who wrote which checks and is there money left in the account. And that's an other people's money kind of question, and it's a shared dynamic. In the markets, if I am trading, there's always got to be somebody on the other side of the trade. If I'm trying to sell 100 shares of IBM stock, then I better find somebody who wants to buy 100 shares of IBM stock because I want to take his money in exchange for the stock shares. And so other people's money is a vital concern in finding the money in our horoscope, and knowing how that works and how to connect with it is an all-important skill. That's what we focus on in that fourth session, and I think you'll find it enormously useful because there are things about other people's money that are not as readily apparent as you might think. There are some hidden dynamics there that we can oftentimes overlook if we aren't paying attention to it. There are also other concerns, that we have relative to other people that color our perspectives about money. There's a lot of emotion connected with money issues, and we'll be talking about emotions a great deal during this entire course, but especially when we start to deal with other people's money, it's like, you didn't tell me that you wrote a check for $1,400 for, this new stereo system or whatever it is that our spouse has just spent the money on. And so there can actually create arguments and disagreements around money issues at times when we're involved with other people's money. And it's one of those big mysterious areas in our lives, very much like sex, very much like death, that kind of transcend our ability to comprehend from an emotional level. And so that's an important piece that we'll be relating to in this fourth session when we talk about other people's money. In the fifth session of the class, it's all about risk-taking. This especially applies if you're involved in the markets, of course, or if you're an entrepreneur. And really in any financial activity, there has to be the ability to take risks in order to bring in more money. We typically take risks with our money itself and put money out to do something. We'll spend money to take a class. We'll invest in a new piece of office equipment. We'll travel to a distant location to attend a seminar in hopes that it will help us enhance our skills in some way. We'll sign up for a program in certification that will give us additional credentials that we hope we'll be able to use to leverage to get more money. We risk asking our boss for a raise. There are all kinds of chances that we take, not knowing what the outcome will be, in order to bring in money. If we're not taking risks, then our ability to bring in money is extraordinarily limited, and that's what we focus on in this 5th session. What do we see in your chart, and how do we go about determining that in terms of the kinds of risks that you can take? You need to be able to take certain chances in life in order to improve your financial circumstances. We'll hone in on that during session 5. Then in session 6, we'll be looking at one of the biggest obstacles that we really have toward achieving true financial independence in our lives is the habits that we have. If I'm habitually doing things that squander my money, or that leave me unfocused about bringing money in appropriate ways, or that in other ways debilitate me in terms of the money management in my life, then it can be enormously counterproductive. So what we do in session 6 is look at your personal money habits, what they are, how they're constituted, and talk about some very, very specific strategies that you can apply right away to begin to alter those personal money habits so that you can open up to unlimited financial success. This may seem like hyperbole here, but it isn't really, because there aren't any limits to what you can achieve once you understand how to reprogram the habit patterns in your life. And that's a big piece of what we deal with here in session 6. Then in session 7, we focus specifically for those of you who are interested in applying the knowledge of the money in your horoscope to your career as an astro trader. We've pointed out that this knowledge of the trader, the knowledge that comes through the personal horoscope, is a critical piece here in the trading triad. We have to understand the market, we have to understand the trade, we also have to understand you as a trader. And so all of the information in this class, all of the sessions, apply to acquiring that knowledge for yourself. But specifically in terms of the trading environment, it's a very specialized type of behavior, a very specialized type of risk-taking and of taking action, and a very precise kind of set of money attitudes that have to be in place in order for you to trade successfully. And that's what we focus on in session 7, using your personal horoscope to get more profitable results in the markets. If you're personally trading right now, you're going to find this session absolutely invaluable. If you're not trading, then this will give you an opportunity to look at what's actually involved in trading from the astrological perspective. If you're an astrologer working with clients who are trading, then this will be a very, very helpful tool for you. If you're just thinking about it yourself and wanting it from a general knowledge perspective, this will also be useful, because the core skills, the core pieces of the horoscope that apply to knowledge of trading can be applied in a number of other ways as well, and we don't neglect those during this session. Then our final session, session 8, is the one in which we answer this all-important question: when will your ship come in? When am I actually going to get rich? And what we're looking at with this is the timing factor, and how we work with this creatively, knowing where to find the money in the horoscope. The answer that we need to have is, when is the money in the horoscope? So we want to understand our personal money cycles and how to work with them. That's what we dig into during the 8th session. And that's the springboard then for your being able to take action after the class in order to make things happen for you financially in your life. Now, let's talk again a little bit about the class format. I've hinted at some of the dynamics along the way, but just to make sure I didn't leave anything out, I wanted to put this checklist here, because there are lots of moving parts of this. The class is very simple, very straightforward. The material is easy to work with. We've done a lot to make sure that it stays functional for you and easy to learn. And there are a lot of pieces here that are designed specifically to make that happen. But as I say, there are a lot of moving parts in making that happen, so we want to make sure that we don't leave anything out. We do have 8 online classes. Ideally, you can deal with those in a period of 4 weeks, but again, you can accelerate or take longer if you need to. We do have the one orientation conference call. That's our kickoff call for the class. We will be recording that call as well, so that if you can't make that initial session the first day of class, that'll be online. You'll be able to access that and get that material for review as well. Then we'll have our weekly Q&A calls every Wednesday evening. These will be conference calls with open lines and free discussion. We'll hope you get on the line and talk there. What we often find is that people like to join those kinds of calls and kind of lurk in the background, sit and listen. They learn a lot, but other people don't get to learn from their experience. So, please bring questions to those calls and share with us during those experiences, because it helps everybody out and you have more fun too. As I say, we do have the bite-sized video segments. Each of these sessions that we've described is broken down into component videos so that you can watch them as many times as you like. Just fine-tune your knowledge of certain sections if you need extra review there. Then we also have, for each of those video segments, downloadable audios. We put them in MP3 formats. We also have an audio player on the website, so you can listen to them there, or you can download the file and put it on your iPod or other MP3 player. Burn it onto a disc, however you want. Stick it in your car's CD player if you transfer it to a CD, and listen to review the classes that way. And again, these are all done in a modular fashion. So for each segment of each class, we have a separate audio, and you can go back and pick and choose exactly the material you want to review in that fashion. I personally find that I like to get out in the morning and take about a 45-minute walk, and I carry an iPod then, and we'll listen to something informative along the way. Sometimes I prefer music, but it's nice to be able to catch up with information I don't have a chance to review otherwise. So this is the ideal thing for that kind of experience. If you are have chores to do around the house, or if you're going to spend time on the treadmill, listen to the audios that way, and you get that reinforcement for each class. Also, to reinforce, for each of the 8 sessions, we have a separate downloadable workbook. These are kind of Q&A sheets. They're not tests, they're not exams, but a review material, because some people get an enhancement through being able to see things in a written format. And it's a lot of fill-in-the-blanks kind of work that will help you go through and just get a quick comprehension of some of the key points from each of the sessions, so that you have a higher level of confidence about your mastery of the material. Some of the lessons also have handouts. There are particular charts and things that we want you to be able to refer to, and of course all of those are provided for you as well, with then downloadable format that goes with the class. So you get the workbooks and the handouts. Oh, in addition to that, I forgot to mention this, we're also providing you with some bonus ebooks about financial astrology and finding the money in the horoscope. This is over $200 worth, I think, of ebook materials that you can look at online. You're, of course, free to download them, put them on your own reading device, or print them out. They're in PDF format, so they're completely printable. And included as one of these ebooks is a complete textbook in basic astrology. We wanted to make sure that you had a reference source in case you are new to astrology or need that extra reinforcement, that extra knowledge. We have this material available as one of the bonuses for you with this class as well, so that you'll have that to refer to throughout the course. So we wanted to make sure that we cover all our bases here in terms of having written material as well as the video as well as the audio for you to use in getting the most out of this information that we present. This is vital information, and when you find the money in your horoscope, it can truly transform your life. So we don't want to leave any stone unturned in making sure that you can get the real essence out of this class material. And of course, there are fun and surprises along the way. We'll find some occasions to do some weird stuff and cut up a little bit from here to there, but we won't talk about that tonight. But what about the bonuses? I mentioned already that we have the ebooks, but there are other bonuses here too that we want to be aware of. As I say, we have the $200 worth of the ebooks that we just discussed here a moment ago. I got a little ahead of myself. I forgot this slide was coming up, and we do have the complete textbook included there on basic astrology. But that's not all. We also have this. This is an interesting thing here. I need to digress here for a moment. this we refer to here around here as the course that will not be named. I guess that's with deference to the Harry Potter character there, but this is the one that we can't talk about because I can't remember the name of it, and for some reason I don't know what got into me in picking the name for this particular online class that we did a couple of years ago, but what it did was confuse people, turn people off, and we had very few participants, and so the course material is actually very, very valuable, but because it is called the Confidential Astro Trading Formula for Financial Independence, not many people have decided to leap at that, and it's really about specific techniques for astro trading, and it has five modules of video classes included with this program. It's accessed online. It's a separate a website there. There's some recordings along with it of some Q&A calls. It's very, very solid material. We originally provided this course to those people who did participate at just shy of $2,000. It was priced at $19.95, and I think it's worth every penny in terms of the knowledge, especially if you're interested in applying the astrological tools to trading. This goes into a much broader understanding of the trading dynamics than we cover in this main course on how to find the money in your horoscope. Again, the reason we're offering this as a bonus is I wanted to make sure that you got tools that you could use, and you'll have complete access to this course as well. So it's an additional add-on of an entire extra course in the astro trading, the course that will not be named. We'll call it that, and let it go at that. At any rate, it's something that I know you'll find very, very valuable. You're going to be getting it if you sign up for the How to Find the Money in Your Horoscope class. Of course, you won't pay the $19.95. It comes to you free as an add-on bonus to the class. We'll send you a password to get onto the specific website that houses this information so that you can look at that at your convenience. Then, oh yes, we do have one other bonus, and this one embarrasses me a little bit because okay, we note here, this is for the first 15 registrants in the How to Find the Money in Your Horoscope class only. And what it is I'm going to do a personal consultation with you if you're one of those first 15 people. This is the same consultation that I normally charge $14.97, $1,500 for. On a one-on-one basis. We take about an hour and a half to go over the money factors in your personal horoscope. It's designed to be interactive. We answer your specific questions. We talk about the strategies that work best for you as an individual. And it can be a totally transformative experience. It can give you a solid grounding in where you need to go next in terms of your money dynamics. Now, the reason I'm embarrassed is because these do take about an hour and a half to do, and I have a very, very full schedule, and there are lots of commitments that I have time-wise, and I just don't have that many extra slots available to be able to talk with people on a one-on-one basis. So in even doing 15 sessions like this, it will probably take 5-6 weeks to get all of them booked and scheduled. So understand that if you are one of the first 15 registrants for the class, you'll get this session. It may not happen for a month. We'll connect with you and get it on the calendar and schedule that time. This can be done over the phone, via Skype, if you prefer a Skype connection, or if you're in Southwest Florida, we can schedule a time for you to come by my office, and we can sit and chat face to face and look at your chart that way. That's a lot of fun to do, and I hope we get to do that if you're anywhere within range of making that happen. But again, the reason we're limiting this, we're not trying to create any kind of artificial scarcity or anything. It's genuinely scarce when we start to deal with time like this. And so we can only get 15 of these scheduled. But if you are one of the first 15 registrants for the class, we're adding this bonus as well. And of course, if you do sign up and are one of those first 15 people to join us for the class, then you'll get this additional $1,500 value as a free bonus. Hope you can be one of those. I guess best we can say. Okay. Oh, yes. Let me mention this specific website. This is not going to be the regular registration site, but because you've been so kind and patient to sit with me through this whole discussion here, and I know I've gotten a little bit long-winded in some places, and I do see that some questions have come in here. We'll get to those in a few minutes. But we wanted to do something special for those who took the time to join us for this webinar. We are recording this webinar, and if you are seeing this and it's prior to the registration time, even if you're watching this on the recording, this will apply to you as well, but this offer will go away when we officially open the registration doors. It is an early bird pre-registration discount, and you'll get the information on that at http:/bit.ly/HTFM early. It's HTFM is capitalized. That's for how to find money. That's our handy abbreviation here. HTFM, and then early is lowercase. HTFM EARLY will get you there to that page, and you'll find the details on that early bird discount registration. So jot that down. We haven't talked about, I'm sure, the question that's on everybody's mind at this point. We are talking about money in your horoscope. What about the money in your pocket? What does it take to get the money for the class experience? And that's what we are interested in. How much is this new course going to cost? Now, let's see if we can put this in perspective here as we talk about the pricing on this, because we are in the business here at FinancialCyclesWeekly.com of offering the best tools and resources we can come up with to help people be empowered using astrology in their financial lives, and specifically their lives in the markets. So some of our previous courses that we have offered in financial astrology have ranged over the years in terms of format, in terms of pricing, and in terms of the subject matter that they cover. We began actually 15 years ago now. This is pretty amazing. It was our first edition of the Basic Stock Market Astrology course. This was a physical course. When you ordered it, it came in a big box. It's now out of print. I think there's some copies floating around on eBay occasionally, so if you happen to spot one and you want one, grab it, especially if it's at a good price. This sold for $2,295, $2,300 essentially, and it included, originally it came in cassette tape form. That shows you how old it was originally. Anybody remember cassette tapes? But in its later incarnation, it was 31 audio CDs that had audio lectures only. There was no video with this. And then there was a course workbook of about 250 pages, and then there was one update DVD that was offered in one of its later versions as a bonus along with that, that provided some additional charting information that was updated at that time. But again, this was a very comprehensive course, and hundreds of people have taken this course all over the world, and I'm always intrigued when people contact me and say, hey, I took that course of yours several years ago, and I've made a lot of money in the markets, and I've done this, and I've done, and I feel like I know you because I've heard all these times, and I drove around for weeks commuting back and forth to work, listening to your lectures in my car, and so you were with me during that big snowstorm, and it's very interesting when people relate to that, and when something's been around for a while like this, you get those kinds of stories. At any rate, that was moderately priced in terms of the amount of information that was there. I'd say it was about 30 hours or so of instruction, 31 audio CDs, and it was priced at $2,300. Then we did do, a couple of years ago, a high-level group coaching experience. This we call the Rapid Astro Trading Mastery Program, and this was designed for a group of traders who were interested in using astrology in the markets and wanted some specific advice about the markets that they were trading. And they had a lot of money at risk in the markets and wanted to be able to use these tools effectively. And so we put together this program. I think it was 6 weeks in duration, if I remember correctly, but we had weekly conference calls. And basically we got on the phone once a week and spent about an hour and a half, 2 hours together discussing the specific dynamics they needed to use in enhancing their trading. It was a very, very high-level group coaching project, and participants paid $8,000 each for that program. And what it did was really give them a leg up in terms of getting the guidance they needed to get the kind of leverage they wanted in the markets and applying the Astro Trading Advantage in that situation. So that was the Rapid Astro Trading Mastery Program. And then more recently, as we've already mentioned, we have the course that shall not be named, the Confidential Astro Trading Formula for Financial Independence, which again was online videos with some Q&A calls. There were no workbooks, there were no audio editions, a lot less robust than the current course that we've got going on now with how to find the money in your horoscope. But again, oriented specifically toward trading, and that, of course, was right at the $2,000 price point. We tried to make that one a good bit more affordable, but then botched the naming of it, so nobody even knew what it was about. So that was unfortunate. So that happens. So our goal with this new class in how to find the money in your horoscope is to make it as completely effective as possible. And I hope I've emphasized that in talking about it here so far this evening, because we're really trying to go overboard in giving you the tools that you can use to make it workable for you so that you can actually get the information, use the information, and transform the money in your life. That's what this is all about. And of course, in being able to do that, if you can't afford to participate in the class, then it doesn't do you any good. You can't get that transformation. So we want to try to make it as affordable as possible. So in order to do that, we've come up with several different payment alternatives for you in order to try to make it work for whatever budget you're working on. Payment option number one for the course tuition is $599. That's 3 payments of $599 over a 3-month period. You pay the first $599 and you get access to all the course materials. You can participate fully in the conference calls. There's, you get the whole deal delivered immediately and can start to work on the class. And then after that, at 30-day intervals, there are 2 more payments of $599 each. We find that some people really like to be able to budget expenses like this over time, and it makes it a little bit more comfortable to work with. Now, if you're interested in simply cutting the price and saving some money on the tuition, we do have payment option number 2, which saves you $300. Instead of 3 payments of $599, which would total out to $1,797 over a 3-month period, you can make 1 payment right up front of $1,497. That knocks $300 off the overall price for the tuition, and certainly if your main concern is not how to spread payments out, but to lower the price substantially, this is an option that you might want to consider as well. And then, because you are on this call, on this webinar, there is a third option that's only going to be available through Tuesday the 23rd. That's tomorrow. So if you're watching this video after the 23rd and it's after the launch is already opened up and we've opened the registration period, this offer will go away at that point. This is only an early bird offer for those participants, and we took that $1,497 price and knocked an additional $220 off of that. Again, it's a 1 payment option here of $1,277, and that will give you the complete course as well. Again, this is exclusively for those of you who've taken the time and energy to spend looking into this in detail. We wanted to reward that and obviously offer you an incentive there to go ahead and take action before we open the official registration doors. Now, I mentioned this specifically because this almost guarantees you that extra bonus. In other words, you're the first ones to hear about this, so that if you're interested in that consultation bonus that's only open to the first 15 class registrants, this puts you in a pretty good position in the queue. When I think we had about right at 100 people on this call, so we could sell out of that option this evening, but I'm not sure. But at any rate, if you're interested in that, I would recommend looking into this alternative, and we'll see how that shapes up. There are no guarantees on that, obviously, but and that is limited, but wanted you to be aware of that. So this is payment option number 3, $12.77. It's all in one payment. If you are really concerned about spreading out over time, or you're on a tight budget and want to take the time payments, that $5.99 and 3 payments of $5.99 is obviously still available to you right now if you want to go ahead and do that as well. Or you may prefer to wait till the registration opens and then pay the full $14.97, depending on that. So if you go ahead and register now, right after we finish up our session here, you obviously have the opportunity to get the best price on the tuition with the $12.77 offer, and you'll also get all the bonuses that we mentioned. Total bonus value there, by the way, of over $3,700 between the consultation and the extra $2,000 online course and the ebooks and all the other goodies that come along with the class. You get a fairly substantial value there. So again, what we're looking at here, this is what you receive with the course when you decide to join us. You get 8 complete class sessions. They're all in this bite-sized modular video format. You can watch a little bit at a time, or you can binge watch as you wish. More than 50 video segments in all. You get the downloadable MP3 audios of all the lessons, so you can listen at your convenience for the reinforcement there. Complete course workbooks for each of the sessions, and of course all the handouts that go with the lessons as appropriate. We have our series of weekly Q&A conference calls. That's in addition to the orientation call. So all that will be offered on a weekly basis. You can participate live and or listen to the recordings online after the calls take place. Unlimited access to all of the course materials that we've mentioned here. In addition, you get the bonus ebooks valued at over $200, the bonus $1,997 course in Astro Trading, the course that shall not be named, and also the bonus $1,497, $1,500 personal consultation with me. But if you act fast and are one of those first 15 people, that's the caveat on that last offer there. And I hope you're one of those, because I really enjoy those sessions. So this course tuition, payment option number 3, at $12.77. A reminder that it is good only until we open the gates on the registration, and that will be sometime Wednesday morning. I think it's at 10 or 10:30. I have to double check on that when we open the class registration. So you have a little bit of time to work with that, but I would encourage you to take action right away if that's an option that you want to pursue. And again, to do all this, remember this website, the HTTP bit.ly/HTFM, capitalized early, HTFMEARLY. How to Find Money is the pre-registration discount page. So jot that one down. Even if you can't get there right away, then go ahead and make note of that in case you decide that you want to take advantage of this offer before we open registration on Wednesday. The price will be the same at $12.77 until the registration begins officially. The only thing we can't guarantee is the availability of those consultation bonuses. So see what you can do with that. And at this point, we want to turn to your questions. I know we've taken a good bit of time here, but we do want to make sure that we answer all of your questions that you may have about this class, about the payments, about anything else that we need to talk about to help you make the decision to find the money in your horoscope. We want to thank you for taking time to join us for the webinar this evening, and appreciate your questions that you've emailed in. And of course, we're keeping the lines open here, so if you want to voice any questions as well, we're free to do that, and can move forward with that. And I appreciate those of you who have already taken time to order the course and to participate. Looking forward to having you be a part of our program as we get the class started here. So we have a few questions that have come in via the chat board. Appreciate you taking time to type those in during the course of our exposition on the class. The first one is there a shipping charge with the course? And the answer is absolutely no. That's because we're not shipping anything. You'll be able to get everything online with our special website that we've set up for the class. So all you need is a computer to be able to access the information there. You can download the PDF files for the workbooks and the handouts, and of course the bonus ebooks. You can download the MP3 files to listen to the audios, and you can watch the videos online with the class. In addition to that, you'll need a telephone connection if you want to participate live in the Q&A calls. But no, there is no shipping charge whatsoever at all. One question comes in here, what if I don't know my birth time, only the date itself? Well, we do encourage you to do the research to find a birth certificate or some record of your birth that includes the time of day. It is a pretty important consideration in terms of our approach to the analysis of money in the horoscope. And if you have problems with that, if you don't have a record of that, then you can talk with me personally. We'll come up with some strategies for you. We've got resources about where to do searches for birth data and how to pursue that in terms of getting that information for you, because it is an important piece of the puzzle. Let's see here. Also, with the trading specific session, that'll be, I think, number 7 in our session. Will it also instruct on intraday astro trading techniques using the midheaven or ascendant, for example, to fine-tune trade timing that actually works consistently? No, actually, that will not be included in that particular lesson. We do have a lot of other information available here at FinancialCyclesWeekly.com on specific astro timing techniques. One of our concerns, as we talked about in one of the videos that we've shared here during the last week or two, is that what we call the trading triad. We look at the analysis of the market, the analysis of the trade itself, and then the third component of that is the analysis of you as a trader. This whole class is designed to address that third component. We do talk about the other components in the trading triad a little bit in the course of this class, but that kind of question about specific timing techniques and the setups for individual trades on an intraday basis really is covered in some of the other material that we have available in our DVD sets and in our online services at FinancialCyclesWeekly.com. So no, that's not a part of this particular class experience. Then in addition to that, we've got, let's see, this question here. Oh, is there a payment plan with the discount price? No, this is the $12.77 price is just the one that is a one payment only option there. So what will happen there is you can get that additional discount only if you pay the full price up front. If you'd like the payment plan, that still is at the $5.99 per month for over 3 months. Let's see, if I practice astrology using sidereal zodiac, will I be able to apply your methods to trading the markets, or will I need to switch and use the tropical zodiac? That's a very interesting question. We, in fact, use the tropical zodiac throughout the class. This is something we will probably address during the course and talk about tropical and sidereal differences. The techniques themselves can be used with the sidereal zodiac as easily as with the tropical. Would encourage you not to try to mix and match there. Basically, if you want to transfer everything to the sidereal zodiac instead of the tropical, you can do so, but all the teaching in the class uses the tropical. If you want to make that transfer, that shouldn't prohibit you from doing so, but certainly that's not the main focus of the class, so that's not included there. Let's see. I think that's all the questions we had. Is anybody on the line who wants to ask a specific question about the course? Okay. Well, if not, we'll keep the call short and sweet here because we simply wanted to provide this opportunity to address your questions, and we've made a recording of the webinar. We'll try to tag on to the end of it the responses here to the questions that came in. So that'll be there for your reference as well. And we do encourage you to take advantage of this early bird special. This will be up until Wednesday morning when we open up the registration officially, and we can kind of go from there. So hope to be seeing you among the participants in the class, and I hope you're one of the first 15 so that we get to know each other personally as well. I enjoy these one-on-one sessions. So thanks again for joining us for the webinar. Have a great evening, and look forward to having you join us for the class in how to find the money in your horoscope. Thanks again, and good night.